After the Americans and the Israelis launched an attack on Iran, what we saw is Iran responding in the only way that it could. It's launched ballistic missiles against Israel.
At 2:17 a.m., Tehran changes forever. Explosions cut through the silence, power grids collapse, and leaders vanish within hours. What unfolds that night is not just an attack, but a turning point that redraws power across the Middle East, setting off consequences the world is still struggling to control today. The rising tensions before the strikes. For months, tension builds across the region. Iran's nuclear program moves forward faster, raising alarms in Israel, the United States, and nearby countries. Secret reports suggest uranium enrichment reaches dangerous levels. At the same time, proxy conflicts grow stronger in places like Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. Armed groups linked to Iran increase attacks on foreign bases and shipping routes. In response, economic sanctions tighten, pushing Iran's economy under pressure. Inside the country, political divisions deepen, and public frustration grows. Military forces on all sides begin preparing quietly, moving equipment and strengthening defenses. Intelligence agencies track unusual activity, warning that something major may happen soon. Diplomatic talks fail to reduce the risk. Each side believes the other is close to a breaking point. By early 2026, the situation becomes unstable, with a single event capable of triggering a large-scale confrontation. The night Tehran was targeted. In the early hours of that night, Tehran is suddenly shaken by powerful explosions. The strikes happen with precision and speed, hitting before most people understand what is happening. Air defense systems attempt to respond, but many fail to stop incoming threats. Bright flashes light up the sky as key areas are struck within minutes. Communication networks begin to fail, cutting off clear information. Confusion spreads as residents wake to the sound of sirens and collapsing structures. Some areas lose electricity, making the city even harder to navigate. Emergency services rush to respond, but the scale of the attack slows their efforts. Reports remain unclear, with officials struggling to confirm details. Social media fills with videos showing fire and smoke rising across the skyline. By sunrise, it becomes clear that this is not a limited strike, but a coordinated assault with serious consequences. Operation behind the attacks: who struck and why. The attack is believed to be a carefully planned military operation carried out by advanced forces with strong intelligence support. Many analysts point toward Israel, possibly working with indirect support from the United States, though official statements remain limited. The main goal appears to be slowing or stopping Iran's nuclear development. Intelligence reports suggest that Iran is getting closer to building advanced capabilities, raising fears of a major shift in regional power. The operation likely involves cyber warfare, drones, and long-range precision weapons to avoid large troop involvement. Timing plays a key role, as the strike happens when defenses are less prepared. The strategy focuses on disabling critical systems rather than full invasion. By acting quickly and with accuracy, the attackers aim to send a strong message. This operation reflects a belief that direct action is necessary to prevent a future security threat. Key targets hit inside Tehran. The strikes focus on carefully selected strategic locations across Tehran. Reports indicate that several military bases are among the first targets, including sites linked to command operations. Important research facilities connected to nuclear and defense programs are also hit. These locations are believed to play a key role in developing advanced technology. In addition, parts of the communication infrastructure are damaged, limiting coordination between units. Some government buildings experience direct or nearby impact, adding to the confusion. The strikes appear designed to weaken both military strength and decision-making ability at the same time. Precision targeting suggests strong prior intelligence about these sites. Certain areas are avoided, showing an effort to reduce unnecessary damage. However, the close location of many facilities to civilian zones increases the overall risk. By focusing on these key targets, the attackers aim to disrupt Iran's capabilities quickly and effectively. Civilian impact and chaos on the ground. As the strikes hit, ordinary people face sudden fear and confusion. Many wake up to loud explosions with buildings shaking and windows breaking. Families rush to find safety, often without clear information about what is happening. In some areas, damaged roads and debris make it hard to move quickly. hospitals begin to fill with injured civilians, putting pressure on medical staff and supplies. The loss of electricity and communication creates more uncertainty as people cannot contact loved ones. Shops close, and streets become crowded with those trying to escape danger. Emergency services work non-stop, but the scale of damage slows their response. Rumors spread quickly, increasing panic among residents. For many, the night leaves lasting emotional and physical impact. Beyond the physical damage, the strikes deeply affect daily life, creating a sense of ongoing instability and insecurity. Iran's immediate military and political response. Within hours, Iran launches a strong military response. Air defenses are reinforced, and missile units are placed on high alert across the country. Officials announce that the attack will not go unanswered. Iran's leadership calls emergency meetings to assess damage and plan next steps. State media releases statements showing strength, aiming to control public fear and maintain order. At the same time, Iran activates its network of regional allies, signaling a wider reaction may follow. Cyber units begin counteractions, targeting systems linked to the attackers. Politically, leaders push for national unity, urging citizens to stand together during the crisis. Security forces increase presence in major cities to prevent unrest. Diplomatic channels are also used, sending warnings to foreign governments. This response shows Iran's intent to protect its position and respond both militarily and politically. How the strikes spread conflict across the Middle East. The strikes do not remain limited to one country. Soon after, regional conflict begins to expand. Armed groups linked to Iran increase attacks in areas like Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria. Missiles and drones are launched toward strategic targets, raising tensions across borders. In response, opposing forces strengthen their defenses and carry out counteractions. Shipping routes in key waterways face disruption, affecting global trade movement. Several countries raise their security levels, preparing for possible escalation. Skirmishes break out in multiple locations, turning isolated conflict into a wider crisis. The risk of direct confrontation between larger powers grows. Alliances become more active, with countries choosing sides based on their interests. This chain reaction shows how one major event can trigger multiple conflicts at once. The region enters a period of instability, with no clear end in sight. Global reactions and the energy crisis shockwave. The world reacts quickly as news of the strike spreads. Major powers call for calm, while also reviewing their own security strategies. International organizations hold urgent meetings to discuss the situation. One of the biggest impacts is seen in the energy market. Oil prices rise sharply due to fears of supply disruption from the region. Key shipping paths become uncertain, increasing costs for global trade. Countries that depend on imported fuel face immediate economic pressure. Stock markets react with sudden drops, reflecting growing concern among investors. Some nations release emergency fuel reserves to stabilize prices. At the same time, diplomatic efforts increase to prevent further escalation. The crisis highlights how closely the world is connected to Middle East stability. Even countries far from the conflict feel the effects, showing the wide reach of a sudden energy shockwave. How the 2026 strikes reshape Middle East power dynamics. Over time, the strikes lead to major changes in regional power balance. Countries begin to rethink their alliances and security plans. Some strengthen ties with powerful partners, while others focus on building their own defenses. Iran adjusts its strategy, placing more emphasis on indirect influence through regional allies. Opposing nations increase investment in advanced defense systems and intelligence capabilities. Trust between rival states becomes even lower, making cooperation more difficult. At the same time, new opportunities appear for countries trying to play a mediator role. Economic and political decisions across the region start to reflect these changes. The events of 2026 create a lasting impact on how power is shared and challenged. This shift shapes future conflicts, agreements, and strategies, leaving a long-term mark on the structure of the Middle East. History doesn't shift quietly. That night in Tehran proves how fast power can change and how far the impact can reach. If you want more deep dives like this, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell me what story I should break down next.